What's up, guys? Kamikaze Fox coming to you from SRL Season 10, Round 20 here, F1 24 on the PlayStation platform. Getting ready to kick off an 18-minute short qualifying session, followed by a 50% race, which will be 25 laps around the Saudi Arabia street circuit. Coming off of round 19 a few weeks back in Mexico. So to get us caught up on that, Andrea Latrella walked away with the pole position for Mexico, but it was Tim Ventic who would walk away with the win. Tim Ventic would win the race. Jensen Randall would finish second. Andrea Latrella, who finished third, started on pole, finished third. Sandro Dulius was fourth. George Wilkes was fifth. Dion Stahl sixth. Oleski was seventh. Peter Nickel was eighth. Nick Van Gelder finished ninth. And Robin Herterstegen came home 10th, picking up a championship point. Your Season 2 champion, Alex Benarichetti, finishing in 11th spot. Max Mulder was 12th. Jerome Adamaco, rough outing for him at Mexico, finishing in the 13th position. Ivan Brito was 14th. And then after that, we have nothing but DNFs. It was Jesper Lempinen, Juan Rivas, Sam Brandt, Noel Rosa Ibiza, newcomer David Armstrong, who struggled in his first outing with SRL, and Jamie Jägerstrom, all with DNFs, unfortunately. And let's run down the driver lineup that we have so far for today's race. Sandro Dulius in the Scuderia Ferrari, Oleski in the Mercedes AMG Petronas Bengal 300. Oh my gosh, I know the gamer tag. I don't remember the name. I'll come back to that in a minute. Sam Brandt riding in the Red Bull, Ivan Brito in the Mercedes. And there's SGT Gamer. That is David Armstrong. It'll be his second outing for the newcomer here in SRL. George Wilkes in the Aston Martin with Vincenzo Torri. Alex Benarichetti. Juckworth, or it might be a soft J, could be Yuckworth for all I know, but that is Jamie Jägerstrom racing under a different account today. Jensen Randall will be in the McLaren, Noah Smith in the Williams, and Robin Herterstegen. And Bengal 300. Possibly Christian Dorman. I don't really remember. See if I can find it in my notes somewhere. And if you're just joining us, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment to that YouTube channel. Check us out on Instagram at SRL_F1. And let's see here. Yes, Christian Dorman, Bengal 300. So I was right. It's been a while since we've seen him in a race. So get back going here. Here we go. Sandro on the live chat, SRL checking in, and Ivan Brito with the Hello Fox. Yes, Fox is in the house. And in other news, yes, round 19, not only did Tim Ventic win the race, but Jensen Randall did solidify and lock up his 5th championship title at round 19, just as Tim Ventic locked up his championship back in Season 5 in Mexico. So, cool little nod there to the SRL history. And in fact, if we go back, since this is Season 10, the most memorable race here at Saudi Arabia was probably the inaugural running back in Season 7. Jensen Randall and Logan Aron, the American, were in a season-long battle for the championship. And Jensen Randall missed that round, and it looked like Logan Aron was going to be able to capitalize on that. He dominated all race until a couple of laps left in the race when Jure Marusic spun his Red Bull in front of Aron. And with nowhere to go, Logan slammed into the stationary Red Bull of Jure Marusic and had to retire from the session, and that sealed the deal for Jensen Randall's second championship. Now, Nicolo Falzaresi would go on to win his first race after that crash, but Logan Aron, unfortunately, would not win a championship. He would race for a few more seasons with SRL, but unfortunately, no championship for him. So it looks like we've had a few more drivers join as we get ready to kick off this 18-minute short qualifying session. And then we've got SGT Gamer, David Armstrong, on the live chat as well. Bit of a character. So we've got Robin Herterstegen in the Haas. Dion Stahl has showed up in the other Ferrari. And in other news and notes, the driver market is actually open in SRL, so the drivers now have the opportunity to sign up for next year. They could stay with their current team, or they can see if they can benefit from getting with a different teammate or a different team. And as I said, Jensen Randall locked up the championship. That is his 5th championship in SRL history. He has 354 points to his credit, 10 wins, 7 poles. It was a heck of a season for him. Tim Ventic, who stayed in contention all year, just picked up his first win at round 19. It's his only win thus far. He does have 5 podium finishes to his credit this year. Jerome Adamaka, who struggled last race, he's got 5 wins to his credit, came in late this season. He's still in contention to take that second place spot away from Tim Ventic in the championship point standings. Tim Ventic has 235 points compared to Jerome Adamaka, who's 193. Sandro Dulia sitting comfortably in the 4th position with 169 points to his credit. Actually, I say comfortably, but Andrea Latrella is right behind him with 166. Apparently, I need to get myself some glasses. Andrea Latrella's got 2 wins on the season. Sandro Dulius has none, unfortunately, but he does have a number of podium finishes. 2 second-place finishes and 5 third-place finishes for Sandro has kept him in that 4th position. Oleski is 6th in points with 148. David Rod, who's got 1 win to his credit this year, and 4 third-place finishes, is 7th in points with 129. Looks like we're getting ready to kick off. Tim Ventic has shown up in the Alpine. Excuse my American accent. Getting ready to kick off the 18-minute short qualifying session, followed by a 50% race. Will be 25 laps. We continue to run down championship point standings because after we got David Rod in 7th with 129 points, there's a bit of a battle going on for the top 10. Noah Smith and Jamie Yeagerstrom, both in the Williams, have 82 and 79 points to their credit. George Wilkes is right behind them in 5th with, he's right behind them in 10th with 55 points. Dion Stahl's right behind him with 52 points. Then there's a little bit of a gap back to 12th, which is Noel Rosa Abia with 40 points. Nick Van Gelder, your Season 4 champion, only has 38 points to his credit. Vincenzo Torri, 34 points. Jesper Lempinen in 15th with 32 points. Juan Rivas, 29 points. Pablo Baz, 22 points. And Friab Bile, who we haven't seen since the beginning of the season, 18 points to his credit. And you've got Ivan Brito and Sam Brandt battling it out for the 20th position in the points. 18 points to Ivan Brito's credit, 17 points to Sam Brandt's credit. And it may sound silly, but nobody wants to be last on the championship leaderboard. So 15 drivers for today's Grand Prix here in Saudi Arabia. And yes, it is the real F1 schedule Saudi Arabia weekend as well. So let's see if we can get some, I don't want telemetry, I want some lap data, I want a track map. Look at that wild, wild street circuit. This could be a race of attrition for sure. As we wait for the drivers to come out, I'm going to pick up Jensen Randall. He's usually the first one out of the pits. But so far, nobody's come out. Time ticking away. Looks like one of the cars is getting ready to move. I see there's one coming out. Looks like that's one of the Williams. And then one of the Mercedes. So let's take a look here and see if we can find out if that was Jamie Yeagerstrom or if it was Noah Smith that was heading out. Looks like it was Noah Smith, first car out on track. Well, we've got Cooper Plays and Whippo Film on the live chat. I haven't seen Whippo, and I haven't seen Cooper Plays in a while. I know he's been on the live chat before as well. And Whippo, I believe he's one of the fans for Jesper Lempinen. I don't see Jesper here today. And SRL making the note, Yuckworth is Jamie Yeagerstrom. He is in the other Williams. See Noah Smith trying to put some heat into those tires. We saw that a few races ago under the safety car at Zandvoort. Jerome Adamako was trying to put heat into his hard tires under a safety car and ended up losing position from spinning out at the NASCAR bank style corner. So you got to be easy with these cars and trying to put heat into these tires. Caution flag flying in Sector 3. That's where Noah Smith is at. That might have been for the Mercedes that was behind him. And here we go down the front straightaway, I believe. Yes, we're going to start a timed lap with Noah Smith down this front straightaway into the hard braking area for turn 1 and 2. So Noah Smith currently the first driver to start a timed lap. And unbelievably, 3 minutes is already gone. 15 minutes left to play in the session. Nobody has been out to set an actual timed lap just yet. We're watching Noah Smith see if he can set the first timed lap without any incident on track. With a little bit of a lockup and a hard turn in there on that left front. You can see just how chaotic it is through the midsection. A lot of sweeping lefts and rights. The track narrows up in a few areas, widens out in some other ones. Always playing dangerously close to the wall. Jimmy Jägerstrom still in the pits. And Noah Smith got the DRS slot open coming across the line. He's going to set the benchmark at a 1:28.348. First driver to set a time. We'll pick up SGT gamer David Armstrong. Ooh, runs a little wide there. Got a little close to the wall. Keeps it out of it, though. Stays in the throttle, so it's not without balls, we'll say that. DRS slot open purple in Sector 2, runs it a little wide. Car sliding around a little bit. Now, he really struggled in his debut for SRL. He was a little apprehensive about doing a car setup, as we see Sam Brandt sets a time of a 1:29.598. David Armstrong tried taking some advice from some of the other drivers on setup choice and also custom setup, and unfortunately none of it benefited him. He struggled with rear grip, lost the car, and he's going to come across the line with a 1:31.864, so finding his footings here. And Tim Ventic looks like he's crashed in Sector 3, so he's DNF'd here in qualifying, so he will not be able to set a time. We're watching Jensen Randall. He's just invalidated his lap time, so he is going to be out of the throttle. We'll pick up Dion Stahl coming out of Sector 2. He's invalidated his lap time. See if we can pick up Robin Herterstegen. He's currently on a flyer. Oh, and he just hit the wall there. Bend it in the left front corner, broke his wing. He's going to let a car go by. And so we'll pick up Sandro Dulius. Sandro, the league owner and president here of SRL. It is the Sandro Racing League, so. And Jensen Randall has retired from the session as well. So Jensen, he's already won the championship, so he's probably going to do the back-to-front challenge, start in the rear, see if he can work his way towards the front, which he's done a number of times this season as we continue to watch Sandro Dulius run through Sector 2. Fourth in the championship point standings. A little bit of a slide there coming out of the corner. A little bit of a twitch there under throttle. You see Ivan Brito has come across and set a time of a 1:30.016. Oh, big slide there coming out of the corner from Sandro. Looks like he's got a Mercedes in front of him. DRS slot open. On this very bendy part, not really a straightaway. Whoa, and a big slide coming out of that corner as he tries to get the throttle down. He's very close to the end of the lap. He can stay in it and at least put a time on the board. And Sandro Dulius, second quickest, 1:29.247. He's about 9/10 of a second off of Noah Smith. So, good qualifying effort. we've got Clay Lewis on the live chat saying SGT sent me here. So good to have Clay Lewis in the live chat. Here supporting David Armstrong, SGT Gamer. See if we can pick up Dion Stahl in the other Ferrari. He's out on a timed lap this time. Did not invalidate his lap time. He's in Sector 3 coming down the front straightaway. We'll see what kind of time he can set as he gets to come across the line. And that is going to be a 1:31.472 for Dion Stahl. That's good enough for 5th quickest so far. We'll pick up Jamie Jägerstrom and Bengal 300 as Christian Dorman has retired from the session as well. So it looks like we lost Tim in a wreck. We possibly lost Christian Dorman in a wreck, and Jensen Randall is going to do the back-to-front challenge as he's already locked up the championship for this year. Currently watching Jamie Jägerstrom in the other Williams, so his teammate, Noah Smith, sitting on pole as of right now. He's actually looking pretty quick. He's got one of the Ferraris in front of him. If he can time it correctly, he might be able to catch a little bit of slipstream off of them, but don't want to catch him in the bendy parts and get the dirty air over the wing. Get some of that aero wash. You see he comes very close to hitting that outside wall coming out of that corner. Caution flag flying in Sector 3. DRS slot open. Looks like the Ferrari's going to try and get out of the way. It's possibly Dion Stahl, who just finished his timed lap. George Wilkes has set a time, a 1:28.807. That was good enough to move into second spot. That drops Sandro down into third. Noah Smith out on an out lap, still sitting on provisional pole with 9 minutes left to play in the session. Currently watching Jamie Jägerstrom see if he's got anything, and he's going to time this pretty well. He's going to get the slipstream off of the Ferrari. Is that Sandro doing another time? Nope, that's Dion coming across the line again, dragging Jamie Jägerstrom across the line, and that's a 1:28.667 for Jamie Jägerstrom. So it's a Williams 1-2 right now, and the caution flag flies in Sector 2. Let's see if we can pick up Alex Benarichetti in the V-Carb. Benarichetti, your Season 2 champion from way back in the way back. He is yet to set a time, currently in Sector 2 where the caution flag is flying. Not sure why the caution flag is flying in that area. But Benarichetti making his return to SRL after a number of seasons away. He has struggled a little bit this year. He's shown flashes of speed, but has not been able to put a complete race together, unfortunately. Don't know that Saudi Arabia is going to be the place to try and put a complete race together for him, but coming through Sector 3, down this dogleg straightaway, down into the hard braking zone. Back on throttle, and he is going to come across the line. 1:29.789. That's a great qualifying effort for Alex Benarichetti. That moves him into 6th position, and 7 minutes and 30 seconds left to play in this session. So the only drivers that have not set a time, we're looking at Nick Van Gelder, who's currently in the pits, Robin Herderstegen, who is out on a timed lap, and the MoneyGram Haas. This is a very weird team. MoneyGram Haas with Toyota Gazoo Racing with a Ferrari engine. It makes perfect sense. There's absolutely nothing American about this car except for where they're based out of. Regardless of that, Robin Herderstegen finished 10th in the last round in round 19 in Mexico. Herderstegen, one of the more, how do I put it, more consistent drivers, I would say. He doesn't often finish in the points, but he usually always finishes a race. And generally speaking, if he does have a DNF, he's not usually caught up in anything. It's usually by his lonesome, so he doesn't take any drivers out with him. He is coming across the line at a 1:32.708, good enough for 10th quickest so far. So let's pick up Oleski. Oleski's a very fast driver. He's yet to set a time. 6 minutes left to play in the session. He's going to start running out of time to do so if he can't make something happen here. So we're waiting on Oleski and Vincenzo Torri, the only two drivers to set times. I'll pick up Vincenzo. Vincenzo's actually in front of Oleski on track. We'll stick with him for now. And they'll be coming across the line one right after the other. And Vincenzo Torri, purple in Sector 2. We'll see if that help gets him to that top spot. Noah Smith still with the provisional pole, 1:28.348, 0.3 of a second quicker over his teammate Jamie Jägerstrom with the 1:28.667. Sandro Dulius did set another timed lap of 1:28.741, good enough for third quickest so far. And Vincenzo Torri, fifth quickest, followed by Oleski, sixth quickest, 1:28.909 and a 1:29.166. We'll pick up Sandro here real quick. Looks like he's a little bit off the pace, so he's already set his timed lap. He'll go out to make a last-ditch effort here. I mean, he kind of looks like he's still on it. Maybe the timing and scoring was wrong there for a hot second. And he's got the DRS slot open. We'll stick with Sandro, see if he's got anything left in the tank to try and take that provisional pole away. Nope, he's going to dive into the pits and fool everybody. All right. Let's pick up David Armstrong here. Not sure if he's on a timed lap or not. So we'll pick up Nick Van Gelder, the only driver to have yet set a time, your Season 4 champion, out on track in Sector 2. Whoa, and that is going to blow that corner. This is why Nick shouldn't have been sitting in the pits for so long. He's going to have to let those tires cool down. He's going to have one more shot to try and make something happen. And George Wilkes just went to the top of the chart, 1:28.276, a 1/10 of a second quicker than Noah Smith. We'll go back to Nick, see if he's got anything for any of these front runners, and that's a big slide, and he slaps the wall with the right side of the car. Looks like he might have slapped it with the right rear, didn't do any wing damage. He's going to come across the line. He sets a time, a 1:33.076. He puts a banker lap on the board. I mean, it's going to be good enough for 13th, and he loses the back end of the car, and that's pretty much going to do it for your Season 4 champion. I don't know what he's doing now, unless he's really roached those rear tires. We often talk about how Nick likes a loose-handling race car. Some days I wonder if he should have been in Formula D instead of Formula 1. So we'll pick up his teammate Sam Brandt as the time winds down. Sam Brandt, he's on an invalidated lap. And it looks like we're going to have a lot of drivers coming out making a last-ditch effort. So here's Jamie Jägerstrom, currently third quickest. He's on an outlap. Sandro Dulius is on another outlap. Vincenzo Torri on an outlap. Oleski, Ivan Brito, Bennett Ricchetti, Dion Stahl, Robin Herdestegen. And I don't think Wilkes, he's got his DRS slot open, but he's driving very slow. So the benchmark is going to be that 1:28.276. These guys are all on outlaps. Who's going to start a timed lap first? Pick up Benarichetti. Benarichetti's on a timed lap. Sam Brandt getting out of the way. Looks like that's David Armstrong behind him. So the time is winding down here. Big slide by Benarichetti. Stays in the throttle. Don't give up on the lap. You can still improve your position. He's already 1.1 seconds off of his previous time. That was a huge slide that cost him a big chunk of time. And looks like David Armstrong's invalidated his last-ditch effort, so he's red. He's not going to be able to do anything. Robin Herterstegen. Where is Dion Stahl? Dion's currently 10th quickest. He's getting ready to come across the line. Nope, he's on an invalidated lap time as well, so Dion's done. So Noah Smith, we'll take a look at some of these big front runners here. Timing is up. Hot laps will count, but I don't know that anybody's got anything for George Wilkes at 128.276. Currently watching Jamie Jägerstrom in the Williams. He's 128.667. Coming through Sector 2. He's 0.3 up on his previous time. It's going to be close. See the DRS slot open on his Kraken wing. Release the Kraken! Coming out of the final turn, puts the power down, see if he's got anything for his teammate or George Wilkes to improve his position. He was 0.3 up at Sector 2, coming across the line on a 128.486. Does not improve his position, but does improve his time. Here comes his teammate across the line, and he's going to be a 127.938. He's the only driver to crack into the 127s, 0.3 of a second quicker than his teammate. Sandro comes across the line, not able to do anything. Vincenzo Torri not able to improve his time. Oleski is off the pace, and that is going to do it. We're going to let the time wind down as Oleski heads into the pits. So an unbelievable pole lap there from Noah Smith in the Williams. As he shuts down the competition. So starting lineup, Noah Smith, George Wilkes, Jamie Jägerstrom, Sandro Duilius in fourth, Vincenzo Torri is in fifth, Oleski in sixth, Ivan Brito in seventh, Sam Brandt in eighth, Alex Benarichetti is ninth, Dion Stahl is 10th, David Armstrong is 11th, Robin Herterstegen is 12th, Nick Van Gelder 13th, and then Tim Ventic, Jensen Randall, and Christian Dorman did not set times. That is 14th, 15th, and 16th. So timing is up. We'll wait for the game to redo the formation lap of this race here as the sun has set in Saudi Arabia for this night race. And unfortunately, as the sun has set in Saudi Arabia, the sun is setting on my commentating career for SRL. This will be my last season commentating for this league, unfortunately. I've been doing it since season 3, but real-life obligations are going to prevent me from continuing to do this for F125 on the PlayStation platform for SRL. I didn't want to make that announcement any sooner in the season. I wanted to concentrate on the championship, but since the championship was locked up at round 19 a few weeks ago by Jensen Randall, his 5th record-setting championship, now would be a good time to let the people know that Kamikaze Fox will not be doing this moving forward into next season. I will finish out this season to the best of my abilities, and there is the Indy 500 on Project Cars 2 that will be run in June. I am going to try and make an effort to commentate for that as well, but for all intents and purposes, my commentating career will be coming to an end at the end of this season. So for what it's worth, I highly recommend any drivers, fans, or anything to stay tuned with SRL and follow them in their future endeavors. This is a very good league, and it says a lot about the league that Sandro has made. As a league owner in the pressurized world of online sim racing, Sandro has totally gone against the norm. He doesn't cuss, he doesn't throw tantrums, he doesn't demand special treatment for himself or his drivers, or play the blame game. The fans love the league just as much as the drivers do, because Sandro always makes time for everyone in the drivers and appreciates the attention. It's a league you want to drive for, and a league that other leagues should strive to be and emulate. So Sandro didn't make the perfect online racing league, but SRL is about as close as you can get. And I appreciate him letting me commentate for the last 7 seasons and always working with me, trying to make time for when I could be available versus when the league was available. So I appreciate Nick Van Gelder filling in for me the past couple seasons when I wasn't able to attend the races. But moving forward, I will not be able to do this on a full-time basis. So Noah Smith, your pole sitter, as we do the formation lap as they get ready to come back to the starting grid. George Wilkes almost had it, loses out on it. Jamie Jägerstrom missing out on the front row. Sandro 4th. Vincenzo Torri will be 5th. Aleski is 6th. Ivan Brito with a good qualifying effort into 7th. Sam Brandt in 8th. Your Season 2 champion, Benna Ricchetti, 9th. And Dion Stahl is 10th. David Armstrong in his 2nd outing for SRL. I hope his career continues to flourish here with SRL. Robin Herterstegen is 12th. Nick Van Gelder 13th. And then Tim Ventic, your Season 5 champion, 14th. Jensen Randall, your 5-time champion, 15th, and Christian Dorman bringing up the rear in 16th position. So we'll wait for the 5 red lights to reset, and we'll try and stick with the action the best that we can. 5 red lights. Lights out, time to run what you brung their way in a puff of smoke, and it's a good start for Noah Smith, and it looks like we've already got cars spreading wide here. George Wilkes trying to go around the outside of Noah Smith, cuts the corner a little bit, and that's not going to stick well with these stewards. Oh, and David Armstrong. Looks like he was up and over a car and manages to get going. We've got a virtual safety car, and David Armstrong, who started in 13th, went up and over into the wall, loses his front wing, and we've got a virtual safety car. Noah Smith is your leader, no change there. George Wilkes in 2nd. Jamie Jägerstrom is in 3rd. Vincenzo Torri 4th. Sandro Dulius drops back into the 5th position. Sam Brandt up into 6th. Ivan Brito 7th. Aleski 7th. Ivan Brito is 8th. Dion Stahl picks up a position in 9th. And Alex Benna Ricchetti is 10th. Jensen Randall went from, 15th to 11th in that exchange. Nick Van Gelder might have been a part of that melee, as he's dropped back into the 14th position. Christian Dorman is up to 13th. Tim Ventic not gaining anything in any of that in the 15th position. And David Armstrong, as you saw, and he's got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car, so add insult to injury. And now we're back to green flag racing. Oh, and Aleski runs wide here at the corner as he's trying to keep up with Sandro Dulius, and he's got Sam Brandt breathing down his neck. Meanwhile, I've got George Wilkes all over the gearbox of Noah Smith. So David Armstrong with a rough start to this race. However, it did happen early. He's got a lot of time to make up and recover from the incident and for the driving penalty, so David Armstrong could stick with it. This could be a race of attrition as we see Christian Dorman and Nick Van Gelder exchanging positions on the timing and scoring. That puts Nick Van Gelder back up into the 13th position. Meanwhile, we've got Sandro. Oh, and it looks like Sandro's blown the corner trying to defend against Aleski, and then we've got Ivan Brito in the background cutting a corner as well. Alex Benna Ricchetti just picked up a 3-second timing penalty. He's currently running in the 11th position. Things are a little hectic here right now We go back to the battle for the lead. This is George Wilkes. He's in the meet in the middle of a Williams sandwich. Got a caution flag flying in sector 2. Looks like that would be for Dion Stahl. Looks like Dion may have had an off. He's back on. See if there's any damage done to the car. I don't see any damage, so it might have been just a spin. Gets back going. Jensen Randall making a move now. He's getting around Ivan Brito for the 8th position. So Jensen Randall up into 8th after starting in the rear of the field. Meanwhile, your battle back at the front of this. Noah Smith and George Wilkes. And we've got another virtual safety car. Looks like this one could be for Nick Van Gelder, I thought. Uh-oh, what's going on here? We've got some position swapping. Was it Sam Brandt? Trying to find him. What is going on here? Oh, and Sam Brandt. Oh, he's got a flat right front tire and no front wing. Sorry, I'm having an issue with the controls right this second. So 2 virtual safety cars in 3 laps. And race control. Christian Dorman with a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. So Sam Brandt's going to come out of the pits in the 15th position. We're still under the virtual safety car. Jensen Randall is up to the 7th spot. And actually looks like Sam Brandt's still in the pit, so he's actually going to lose a position. DRS is enabled. We're back to green flag racing. David Armstrong is now back up into the 15th position. Still with a speeding penalty hanging over his head. Now George Wilkes back to this battle. Aston Martin versus Williams. Wouldn't that be something to see in real life, as we see George Wilkes try and go around the outside. The meet in the middle of a Williams sandwich here. And again, Wilkes around the outside with the DRS slot open. He's going to be able to make the pass. That's going to move Noah Smith into 2nd place, but that allowed Jamie Jägerstrom to catch up to this battle. And now we've got a 3-car battle for the lead of this race. Can Wilkes pull away? And Vincenzo Torri lurking in the background in the 4th position. He's only 1.3 seconds off of this battle for the lead. Meanwhile, as the Williams fan out in a 2x2 formation, trying to add pressure to George Wilkes. We see some position swapping going on in the back. That's Jensen Randall going up into the 7th position, getting around Alex Benarichetti. And that's actually a 3-car battle that Jensen Randall's going to be able to pull away. We've got Nick Van Gelder who picked that battle up real quick. Your Season 2 champion trying to hold off the Season 4 champion. You know, 4 former champions, actually, well, 3 former champions and 1 current champion in this race. Alex Benarichetti was a champion in Season 2. Nick Van Gelder was a champion in Season 4. Tim Ventic, who's currently running in the 14th position, was your champion in Season 5. And then you've got the 5-time champion, Jensen Randall, running in the 7th position. 0.7 of a second back of Ivan Brito, 4th, 6th, as we continue to watch this 3-car battle for the lead. Noah Smith's going to try and make a move to the inside with the DRS, getting around George Wilkes, and that's going to put Wilkes back into the middle of the 2 Williams. And that's allowing Jamie Jägerstrom with the DRS to try and creep in. And SGT Gamer has retired from the session. Looks like we've got another virtual safety car. David Armstrong has crashed. So another unfortunate outing for David Armstrong. And it looks like Noah Smith tried to bait Wilkes into taking pit road, but it didn't work. These 3 drivers have yet to pit. In fact, let's get that up here real quick. Stops. Looks like the only players to have stopped have been Oleski, Tim Ventic, Sam Brandt, and then obviously David Armstrong. And he is permanently stopped for this race, unfortunately. So that's 2 races for David Armstrong. That's 2 DNFs. Not a good start to his debut. I don't want to say to the season, but to his career here in SRL. So just as things were heating up, they had to cool down again. DRS is enabled. Looks like we're going to be back to green flag racing. Timing and scoring is not going to tell me that, though. There we go. Now we're back to official green flag racing. On timing and scoring. These a side-by-side battle here. Jamie Jägerstrom and George Wilkes. Wilkes is trying to hold off Jägerstrom. Looks like Jägerstrom got a good jump back to the green flag under the virtual safety car. So what we have is a Williams, Aston Martin, Williams, Aston Martin, as Vincenzo Torri is catching this group here. This is going to be a 4-car battle, a 2-team battle for the lead of this race. Noah Smith, your leader, followed by George Wilkes. Wilkes trying to get to the inside. He's got the DRS slot open. Once again, he's going to get to the inside. See if there's any team orders from the Williams guys, which realistically, they're both running 5th and 6th in the championship point standings. They're only separated by a couple of points. See if they spread out. If they hold their line this time through. Meanwhile, Vincenzo Torri trying desperately to be a part of this battle. He's in and out of the DRS range by just a couple of tenths of a second here and there. He's currently just out of it by 17 thousandths of a second. And there's a 3-second timing penalty for Ivan Brito for corner cutting. So timing penalties will probably be a factor at the end of this race, I'm sure. Tim Ventic just set the fastest lap of this race at a 1:32.589, and it doesn't say much since most of the laps have been under virtual safety car. Meanwhile, George Wilkes trying to separate himself from these two Williams. Can't quite get away. Noah Smith's going to have the DRS advantage coming down to the straightaway. Oh, and a big corner cut there. And George Wilkes is going to pick up a 3-second timing penalty for that as well. So that'll be tacked on at the end of this race. DRS slot open for Noah Smith. Can't quite get to the inside there. He thought about it, but Wilkes slams the door. Now the two Williams with their DRS slots open. Noah Smith around the outside. He's going to take that position back from George Wilkes. Cuts across his nose. And you can see, Sam Brandt with a 3-second timing penalty. Wilkes going to try and make a move to the inside. Looks like he thought about it. Dives back in. Ooh, a little bit of the chrome horn to the rear of Noah Smith here. Meanwhile, Jensen Randall just ran the fastest lap of this race, and he's currently up into the 5th position. So Jensen Randall showing why he is a 5-time champion here in SRL. Noah Smith trying to hold back George Wilkes. Wilkes trying to get around him. Jamie Jägerstrom, unfortunately, has been stuck in this 3rd position this whole time. Hasn't been able to make a whole lot of headway getting around Wilkes or his teammate. Meanwhile, Vincenzo Torri, who was very close to being a part of this battle, he has now fallen back 1.8 seconds and is getting ready to be in the clutches of Jensen Randall, who is just outside of a second. You see Christian Dorman is getting around Robin Herrstegen for the 11th spot on the timing and scoring. He's also got a timing penalty that was just thrown at him as well. So Jensen Randall now in the DRS range. He's got the slot open as they come down the straightaway. Jensen Randall, as I like to call him, Jensen Hamilton or Jensen Verstappen, whoever the current 5-time champ is. Jensen Randall showing why he's a 5-time champion. He's catching the rear of Vincenzo Torri. Meanwhile, the battle back at the front. And Jensen Randall just ran the fastest lap of this race. Looks like he's making a move around the outside of Vincenzo Torri, and he's going to pick up the 4th position. So it won't be long before Jensen Randall makes his presence known on this 3-car battle. Meanwhile, George Wilkes did manage to get around Noah Smith and retake the lead of this race. And unfortunately, as these guys have been battling it out, this has really allowed Jensen Randall to capitalize. He's currently 2 seconds behind this battle. So we'll see how long that stays true. And David Armstrong on the live chat explaining what happened. He had no floor or front wing after his turn 1 crash. And on my screen, he got heavily T-boned and sent into the corner into the wall. So he says, I reckon I'm going to become a commentator. How bad is my internet? And David Armstrong saying this was probably his last race in SRL. I wouldn't give up so easily, as we do have a safety car out on track. That's going to be because of Sam Brandt. Unfortunately, I didn't pick that up earlier. So, as we often do, I'll invite Sam to So we'll get Sam Brandt in here to explain what happened. As we see everybody coming into pit road for a full course caution, safety car out because of the Sam Brandt incident. I unfortunately missed that because I was reading over the comments by David Armstrong. So, oh, and a 10-second timing penalty for Christian Dorman. So George Wilkes comes out in front of everybody. Looks like Sam has joined us here in the booth.
Yes.
So Sam, unfortunately, you're in the booth with me again.
Yeah.
What happened? Unfortunately, I missed the incident. I was going over some of the David Armstrong incident in the live chat. What happened with you?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a two-parter, I want to say, almost. The one that took me out of the race eventually, like a couple of moments ago, that was just a lack of concentration, I think, and a little bit of lack of grip. Going through sector 1, the first 2 turns, quite easy, but turn 3 turned in just that nanosecond too early and clipped the inside wall, and, well, it takes your front wheel off, so...
Yeah. So you pulled a Yuki Tsunoda.
Basically, yeah. So, but then again, this is not a track I've driven a whole lot. I think this is my first time in SRL actually driving this track. So, yeah, it's not a track I have a huge amount of experience with, and yeah, I mean it's a great track to drive. It has a good feel when you really nail it, but when you have a car that not really is responding the way you want, it's so painful to drive. But yeah.
Was the race up into that point?
Oh well, it was. The first couple of laps was pretty good, honestly, but had a weird incident with Alexi down the backstretch, the final DRS zone, the curved one on the backstretch. I don't really know, I don't want to comment on it yet because I haven't watched the replay of it, so I can't comment on it, but it just seemed like, for those who remember Carlos Sainz and Sergio Perez in Azerbaijan, a similar incident. We just drifted towards each other, and I mean, at that speed, when you wheel lock, then one goes into the other and you both end up in the wall.
And Oleski currently running in the 14th position. So we've started with 16 drivers. We're down to 14. We've lost David Armstrong and unfortunately Sam Brandt. George Wilkes continues to lead in the Aston Martin. He's got Noah Smith behind him. Jensen Randall up into 3rd after the pit sequence. Jimmy Jägerstrom down to 4th. Vincenzo Torri is 5th. Season 2 champ Alex Benarichetti up into the 6th position. Got Sandro Duilius behind him. Ivan Brito 8th, Nick Van Gelder, your Season 4 champion, is in 9th, and Dion Stahl is 10th. That rounds out your top 10 points-paying positions. Robin Herdersagen running along in 11th, and then Christian Dorman behind him with multiple timing penalties against him right now. So he's running in 12th. Tim Ventic, your Season 5 champion, currently running in the 13th spot, and Oleski in 14th. I'm kind of surprised by Tim and Oleski. They're both two very quick drivers running so deep in the field.
Yeah, well, from what I gathered before joining you here in the booth, I think both of them actually have floor damage, so they're not the nicest to drive, especially on a high-speed track like this, where you are depending on that vacuum that the floor creates underneath the car. If there's anything wrong with the floor that causes a disturbance in the downforce produced by the floor, it's so on edge, and I think especially Alexi has this problem right now.
David Armstrong said he had floor damage as well after the turn 1 incident, and ultimately that costed him. Looks like we're going to get the safety car to come in this lap. We'll be back to green flag racing. And we see George Wilkes trying mightily to put some heat into those tires.
Yeah, very important for the first couple of turns because Sector 1 is so demanding.
So it looks like everybody's on hards but Tim and Oleski. So two of the quicker drivers all the way in the back are going to be on the faster tires. We'll see if they can make any headway, break themselves into the points. And George Wilkes back under green, puts the throttle down, gets going. It's a good jump, and it looks like, look at Jensen Randall already making the move for the second spot. He's going to get to the inside of Noah Smith, locks up the wheels a little bit, saves the car.
Bunch of cars going.
Got a luck jockeying for position here in the back, and it looks like we've got some slow cars trying to come out of the corner. It looks like that would be Ben Ricchetti. Nick Van Gelder. Looks like Ben Ricchetti lost the spot. Van Gelder, oh my goodness. To the inside of Ben Ricchetti, he almost locked wheels. Ben Ricchetti holds off for the 8th spot. Sandro Julius up to 6th. Dion Stoll up to 7th. Meanwhile, Tim Ventic with a 3-second timing penalty, and we'll go back to picking up Jensen Randall. He is now 0.4 of a second back of George Wilkes. And Jensen Randall probably going to make quick work of him, showing why he's the 5-time champion, holds every major SRL record, most wins, most poles, most podiums, most championships, most points, most fastest laps. Anything that is of significance is held by Jensen Randall.
A battle for Pete's end here. Tim Venting just squeezing by the Haas of Robin Hairstadhagen. Robin almost put the Dutchman into the wall. That was so close. Oh my.
And Herterstegen now under threat from Christian Dorman. Dorman, though, he's got a 10-second plus a couple of 3-second timing penalties hanging over his head. And it looks like Dorman's going to try and go around the outside. And DRS is now enabled, and Jensen Randall just getting around George Wilkes for the lead of this race without the help of the DRS. Caught the slipstream down the front straightaway, and George Wilkes going to try and get that spot back. He's all over the gearbox of Jensen Randall, trying to get to the inside. If he can stick with him, he can get that DRS advantage. Tim Ventic now battling with Nick Van Gelder on timing and scoring. I can't catch that. I don't want to turn away from this battle for the lead. But Tim Ventic up into 9th, so the medium tire is working well for Tim Ventic. Unfortunately, Oleski still sitting back in the 13th position.
I think that car damage is just too severe for the Finn, unfortunately.
And Nick Van Gelder losing another spot, this time to Christian Dorman. So Van Gelder down into 11th.
We're going to have a DRS train here from 1st to 4th, potentially. The 2 Williams, the Aston, and the McLaren.
DRS slot open for George Wilkes down this dog leg straightaway, if you will. Pretty short DRS zone there. That seems kind of inconsequential. Not really enough time to gain any speed, I would imagine.
No, but the beauty is that you have the fast kink left-right, but then you have another DRS straight here, so you could really set up, and I wonder if he stays behind for now, the Aston Martin of George Wilkes. And then you get a 3rd bite right here, so it's like 3 in a row. Goes for the lead here.
And around the outside, George Wilkes. Oh, and he blows the corner, completely blew the corner, and he's going to lose multiple positions now. And his teammate's going to get out in front of him, Vincenzo Torres. So 1st to 5th for George Wilkes, and that is going to seal the deal. There's no way he's going to come back to battle for the lead of this race after that, unfortunately. So that's going to allow Noah Smith and Jamie Jägerstrom to hopefully capitalize on that. Noah Smith been quick all day, battle it out with George Wilkes as we see Jägerstrom blows the corner behind him. So these guys really trying to push these cars to try and get in front and stay in front of Jensen Randall. Unfortunately, this is probably going to become a race for 2nd place here in the next couple of laps.
We'll see Noah. Can he get the setup here on the first DRS straight on the lap here? Very important. You don't want to make the move too early, because then you're going to be susceptible to a counter-attack in one of the other DRS zones. So he's not going to pass here. I would imagine that he could potentially be trying to move past here.
Ivan Brito picks up a 3-second timing penalty. He's got the DRS slot open. Doesn't look like he's close enough to make a move. He might be able to set it up for the front straightaway. That's where George Wilkes tried to do it. He had the pass made. Unfortunately, Jensen Randall, being the smart driver that he is, made Wilkes go to the outside to try and make that move. And you see that Jensen Randall, again, he's a half a car length down the front straightaway, leaving a car width to the outside. Noah Smith can't make that move.
Yeah, Jensen's positioning is very, very strong. Knows where to place that McLaren to make it as wide as possible and make the driver behind contemplate whether should I go on the outside or the inside. That's what's also fascinating about this track.
And he's going to try and make the move without the DRS.
Oh.
And he does make it work through there. That's a great pass made by Noah Smith to the outside of Jensen Randall. I think he might have caught Jensen napping on that one. I don't think Jensen was expecting a move there.
Either that or Jensen got caught on the curb. That is a potential that could...
and a big slide there from Jensen coming out of the corner. Loses a huge chunk of time. That puts him into the grasps of Jamie Jägerstrom and the other Williams.
And if he wants to help out his teammate, he is going to be pushing to get past here, Jamie. This is going to become interesting now down towards the hairpin here.
I don't think Jensen's used to this much pressure. He goes to the inside, Noah Smith, and it's going to be 3 wide down this dogleg straightaway. Noah Smith's going to come out the loser, and that loses 2 positions. Around the outside, Noah Smith trying to get the power back down. He's now going to be all over the back of his teammate. Jensen Randall back to the front. The 2 Williams have DRS as they come down this front straightaway and see if they'll fan out. And again, Randall making them go to the outside. Jensen Randall's such a smart driver. He's so hard to get around.
Oh,
there's contact there as they rub shoulders.
It's just about what I was about to say. This turn 1-2 sequence, it's so tricky because you get shown the outside in turn 1, you have the inside for turn 2, and you can't really get the drive. Whereas if you get shown the inside in turn 1, you get the outside in turns 2, but you can get a great drive out of it. So yeah, it's not really... I don't know which one I would prefer, but Jensen definitely seems like he's chosen what he prefers. He prefers to show them the outside.
Things have calmed down for just a hot second here. Jamie Jägerstrom regaining his bearings. Noah Smith all over the back of him. So David Armstrong on the live pads. He may not be racing anymore moving forward in SRL because of the internet. Apparently he's in Australia. And I know we've had internet issues with other drivers in the past. I know Logan Aron, the American, always had some internet issues out of Pennsylvania. I know Luke Smith, he doesn't race full-time anymore, but he's also an Australian. So he's had some internet issues in the past. It makes it tough when you try to join a lobby, I guess, that's 7,000 miles away.
Yeah, a bit, I would imagine. Are we going to see a move for the lead here? We are.
That's Jamie Jägerstrom to the inside. So Jensen Randall gave him the inside that time. I don't know if he felt the pass was coming or if he's just trying to settle in, maybe cool his tires down for a hot second. I'm not sure. Jensen Randall didn't go defensive that time.
We see the differences in line from Jägerstrom to Randall through that sequence of corners. Could look like Jensen is trying to avoid as much curb, as you say, cooling the tires potentially. So, be interesting to see what he does here. Now he has 3 DRS zones to get a work on the Williams.
Oh, here we go. Noah Smith trying to get a run to the inside. He thought about it.
Have a look. They're putting him under pressure here. What is Jägerstrom going to do here?
And caution flag flying in Sector 2. I'm not sure who that's for. Possibly Christian Dorman. He's losing a position to Nick Van Gelder.
Yeah, the other McLaren moving slow.
And Noah Smith, Noah, I don't think knows what to do because he wants to help his teammate, but he doesn't want to push Jensen Randall to the lead. And there's going to be a position swap here again. And now Noah Smith up into second. So Jägerstrom, he's the loser in that, loses 2 spots, just as Noah Smith did a couple of laps ago, and Jensen Randall comes out on top once again. But the DRS slot open, and again, Randall's going to make Noah Smith go to the outside. He's going to make that position swap this time, though.
Makes the corner clears Jensen before the corner, so I wonder if they're going to try and get both of them in front of him, slowing him down here in Sector 1. So tricky.
I don't know that there's really any team orders between the two Williams drivers. They're both been relatively... I mean, they're both close to points. I mean, they're both 5th and 6th in the points. They're only separated by a handful of points. But I really think if it becomes the question from a driver standpoint, do you want to win or do you want the team to win? Because at some point, you've got to figure out a way to stop Jensen Randall, whether it's you winning the race or the team winning the race.
That's true. That's very true. And also, we cannot forget, we are very late into the season. This is the 4th to final race, I believe. So only a handful of races left, and who knows, maybe one of these drivers are moving teams, so don't want to help the other.
That is true. The driver market is open. I don't know. I think Sandro and Dion are the only ones that have officially signed up for their teams next year. Have you signed up with Red Bull, or decisions still yet to be made?
More to come in the future. But yeah, I mean, Sandro and Dion staying with Ferrari is like saying water is wet. It's inevitable. So
we see Jensen Randall make that pass for the lead. Noah Smith beating that DRS. So yes, season 11, Sandro and Dion will be in Ferrari again. Yes, you are correct. They've the longest tenured drivers, the longest tenured teammates. They've always been with Ferrari. They've always been teammates, and for whatever reason, they make it work. I mean, Dion, obviously, I don't think is on the same caliber as Sandro, but I think when Dion has the opportunity to help Sandro, he does everything he can to move Sandro along. And Dion can be a solid racer. He doesn't often take any other drivers out with him if he makes a mistake. He's a lot like Robin Herderstagen. You know, he finishes the races, maybe not always in the points, but there's not a lot of DNFs to his name. And when there is a DNF, he doesn't often take somebody with him. So,
and credit where credit is due. If he hits his day, he is often faster than Sandro. So his ceiling is very high, but as you say, his average level is maybe a little bit lower than Sandro. But they make it work, so they have been teammates for so long. And I mean, if there's any team that I would gamble on having a shot at the constructors if they have the pace for next year's game, it would definitely be Ferrari because of their teamwork. Speaking of Ferrari, move for P6 here, Sandro.
And around the outside of Vincenzo Torri, and Jensen Randall just ran the fastest lap of this race. And I know Noah Smith is trying to stay with him, but it looks like Jensen, I mean, he's about 0.4 of a second, but things seem to have really calmed down here the last lap and a half. Maybe Noah letting his tires cool down a little bit. Looks like Jamie Jägerstrom's starting to catch back up. He was outside that DRS range. He's now back inside that DRS range.
Really tricky because how do you tackle this? You don't want to take out your teammate, as you said earlier when they were running side by side, but yeah, they want to see if they can get around Randall here at some point. We're running low on laps. This is the 5th to last lap, so time's running out.
Working lap 19 of 25. The race winding down relatively quick. I mean, the opening laps we had a couple of virtual safety cars and then the full safety car. But since then, we've been green flag. And just a quick touch on Dion real quick. I know we were talking about him, but we can't forget he's a multiple Indy 500 winner on Project Cars 2. So he's no slouch when it comes to racing outside of the SRL F1 league.
Yeah, but I mean, we have a joke amongst the drivers that Dion, that one day of the year, he turns into prime Schumacher, and then for the rest of the year, he is the other Schumacher. So, yeah. But he's a great guy, and yeah, he has the pace, I think, as we see. Shaping up here in the front.
I think Jamie thought Noah was going to try and make a move, and Noah didn't go. And we've got a caution flag flying in Sector 2. Looks like that might have been an on-off, possibly for Ivan Brito. Meanwhile, the battle for 6 is still going on. This is Sandro Dulius and Vincenzo Torri. These two are swapping spots again. Vincenzo back to the inside of Sandro, and caution flag flying in Sector 1. Looks like that might be for Alex Benarichetti, Nick Van Gelder. They're side by side. This is Christian Dorman, and they're making contact, and they're rubbing, and they're putting each other in all kinds of conundrums. I don't know if Christian Dorman appreciated that. Was a little bit of a argy-bargy there from Nick.
It's not a nice way to welcome him back, Nick. Don't shove people off like that, anyway.
Meanwhile, back at the front, Noah Smith within 0.4 of a second. He's got the DRS slot open on Jensen Randall's McLaren, trying to hot pursuit him, catch him down. Meanwhile, there is a battle for fourth that is materialized. Tim Ventic and George Wilkes. That's about 8 seconds back of this three-car battle for the lead. They both have timing penalties, and Vincenzo Torri and Sandro Duilius, depending on how far back they are from that battle, they could be picking up a couple of spots. So the battle for 6th and 7th could potentially be the battle for 4th, as we see Noah Smith get around Jensen Randall. Jamie Jägerstrom thought about it, couldn't get to the inside, and that's really what they need. They need both Williams to get in front of Jensen.
Yeah.
And one of them is just going to have to deal with running block for the other.
That was almost the move they needed to get both cars past Randall. Yeah, he managed to block that one. It'll be interesting to see when he decides to, because we've seen it so many times. Is he going to take the lead on the very next lap, Jensen Randall? It'll be interesting to see what ERS mode each of them are running, because that's obviously something that plays heavily into
and Vincenzo Torri just picked up a 3-second timing penalty, so Sandro solidifying the 3-second gap now. So Sandro's going to be 6th with no issues and could potentially still pick up 4th.
He could, absolutely. Be interesting to see here. Randall with the run on Smith. Oh, he's closing so fast. He's shown the outside here. He stays.
Oh, and here we go, three-car battle. Here we go to the inside. Jamie Jägerstrom makes contact. Oh, right front to left rear, and Jensen Randall able to hold off the hard-charging Jamie Jägerstrom. There's nothing Noah Smith's going to be able to do. He's going to make Jensen go around the outside. He cuts back in front of his teammates.
This is turning spicy now, but also not just between the Williams and the McLaren, but both of the Williams drivers.
Noah did not want to lose another position, and that really looked at this. Jamie Jägerstrom has now lost a little bit of ground to that battle.
It could just be that Noah knows that he has the pace to keep up with Jensen and didn't want another car in between him and race lead. Maybe he feels like he has the best chance if he gets the overtake done, and then Jamie can follow him through.
Meanwhile, the battle continues in the back for 10th position. That's Nick Van Gelder and Christian Dorman. They've swapped positions a number of times on the timing and scoring. We haven't really stepped away from this three-car battle for the lead.
Well, I can tell you they are fighting back here.
Noah Smith with the DRS slot open again. Oh, what a big twitch by Smith. He caught it. I don't know how he caught it, but it's going to cost him a huge chunk of time. That's allowed Jägerstrom to catch back up to him. And he's lost ground to Randall. He's got the DRS. He's going to get a little bit of that ground back. Thought about making a deep dive in there, but he thinks better of it.
I wonder if that snap there cooked his tires a little bit. It'd be interesting to see.
DRS slot open. Randall. He's going to... He thought about it. Oh, and another big twitch by Noah Smith.
And now they're going to swap.
Now Jägerstrom to the inside. He's getting the power down. He's going to make the move around the outside of Noah Smith. So Noah's going to lose that position anyways. And now Jägerstrom's going to have to try and see if he can make up. And look, they've lost almost a second. They've lost a second to Jensen Randall. That's probably going to be the nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
Noah Smith getting greedy, and that is going to be day done. I guarantee it. Jensen Randall's going to walk away with this win.
Yeah, that switch from Noah Smith on the fast chicane and then not letting Jamie pass initially, that has really cost them, and now they're going to be fighting for P2 only. Unless Jensen makes a mistake.
Really?
Well, I mean, we've seen crazy
Can we
things
even
happen.
remember the last time Jensen made a mistake? Oh, caution flag flying in Sector 1.
Looks like Dion, maybe. No? No.
Now that is the battle for 8th position.
Christian Dorman is facing the wrong way.
Oh, him and Nick probably made contact again.
Probably did.
We've got a 3-car battle here for the 7th spot. This is Benno Ricchetti. He's being chased down by Vincenzo Torri, who's got the DRS, and Dion Stahl. Meanwhile, Tim Ventic is still battling it out with George Wilkes. Now, these two have timing penalties. I don't know how many they are. I'll wait until the end of the race to find out, but see if Tim Ventic, your Season 5 champion, he thought about it. Oh, and a big slide coming out of the corner by Tim as he tries to get the power down. He is on those medium tires. He's been on them since the restart.
Yeah, that was just what I was about to say. He's really made those mediums work perfectly ever since the safety car period. But it would seem that the grip is starting to fade ever so slightly.
Yeah, it looks like he lost a huge chunk of time to Wilkes under that exchange.
We've also seen a swap for P7, Alex Benedetti leaving over to Vincenzo Torre. Dion still in hot pursuit of these two.
And
Dion doesn't have any penalty.
Yeah, he doesn't have a timing penalty. That's I mean, honestly, that's a rarity.
Yeah, I was about to say, I mean, that's almost as rare as Jensen making a mistake. So maybe we'll see both. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, we often say it's not an official SRL race unless Dion gets a timing penalty.
Well, I wouldn't mind. Then I could score points in Saudi Arabia. But anyway, Jensen starting the final lap here in Saudi.
So white flag lap for Jensen Randall. He is 1.8 seconds in front of Noah Smith. Jamie Jagerstrom has caught Noah Smith. So the battle for second is still on between these teammates. Meanwhile, Tim Ventic is still battling it out with George Wilkes. Looks like Ventic just got around him down the front straightaway. So Tim now up into 4th, and Christian Dorman picks up another 3-second timing penalty. Meanwhile, Benno Ricchetti and Vincenzo Torri going side by side. They're making contact with each other. Here comes Dion Stahl trying to put the power down, loses the back end.
I think he's just sitting back and watching the fireworks at the moment. No penalties. He can take it easy.
Meanwhile, Noah Smith still trying to hold off Jamie Jagerstrom. And out in front by 2 seconds is Jensen Randall once again.
He's been commanding ever since he broke up that gap from Noah Smith. Are we going to see a last ditch move here from Jamie Jagerstrom?
He's a half second back.
He's going to be draining that battery right now.
Throwing everything at his teammate, the battery, the DRS.
Oh, here it comes.
Around the outside. I don't think he's going to be able to make that work. Yes, he does. Can he stay there, though? Power down.
This is going to be a drag race.
It's a drag race to the front line. Here comes Jensen Randall. He's going to win this race. And side by side, here come the Williams. And it's Noah Smith over Jamie Jagerstrom. Meanwhile, Tim Ventic has made contact with George Wilkes. Where is Sandro? Sandro's coming around the corner. He's got 2 cars in his way. Manages to get around both of them, and he's up into the 4th position.
And I do wonder, as we see
Sandro Dullius with the 4th position. George Wilkes, Tim Ventic across the line. Benno Ricchetti, here he comes. He's bringing Dion Stahl with him. Dion's going to get the 7th position. Benno Ricchetti falls back to 9th. Vincenzo Torri is 8th. And here comes Nick Van Gelder. Now he's got Oleski behind him by 2 seconds. See if timing penalties affect their finishing order.
We have seen Nick in a bit of contact throughout the race.
Nick, there you go. Oh, Nick, you're not Ken Block. Calm down for a hot second.
Interesting to see, can he nab a point here? There he goes.
Nick is going to hang on to that position. And here comes Robin Herterstegen.
Takes P11 away from Alexi.
And Herterstegen didn't have any penalties as well, so
good on him, honestly.
Ivan Brito, a bit of a rough day for him. Started in the 7th position. You see the dive plane on the left front end plate's completely gone.
But what a race.
And that is going to do it. Round 20.
Jensen Randall. You almost want to say it is inevitable.
The driver of the day. He's not in a Ferrari. Thank you, EA Sports and Codemasters. So Jensen Randall with another win. I mean, the Williams made him earn it today for sure. This was not a walk-away win by any means. I mean, to Jensen's credit, he didn't set a qualifying lap, so he did make himself do a little bit of the work.
But still, he had to work longer for it, possibly, than he had imagined. So, but yeah, good on the Williams as well. Shout out to both of them for completing the podium and not blowing up.
So here's your unofficial results for round 20. Jensen Randall with the win. Noah Smith second. Jamie Jägerstrom is third. Sandra Dulius up to fourth at the last minute. George Wilkes is fifth. Tim Ventic sixth. Dion Stahl seventh. Vincenzo Torri eighth. Alex Benarichetti is ninth. Nick Van Gelder is 10th. 11th is Robin Herderstagen. Aleski is 12th. Ivan Brito 13th. Christian Dorman is 14th. And then 15th and 16th, that is Sam Brandt and David Armstrong, unfortunately, both with DNFs. So David, I think his confidence took a little bit of a shot today between the internet issues and doing another DNF. Not a great couple of first races to his SRL career, so we'll see if David continues to make it for the rest of the season. So that was round 20, the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram at SRL_F1 for all of the news and notes heading into each week's race. You'll definitely want to do that to stick with the post-race penalties if there's any to be given out. See if the finishing order gets a bit of a shakeup or not. So I'm Kamikaze Fox. This is Brandt, and this has been SRL F1 24 Season 10 on the PlayStation platform. We'll see everybody at the next round.